Shows that make you laugh. Shows that make you think. Music that moves you. It could only be one place. Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Shut up, just shut up, shut up, 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 just shut up, shut up.
Oh, wow. How many people are in the audience? I love that. Oh, my gosh.
I feel like
wow.
we're at the Hollywood
they just
Bowl.
suddenly all went away. Oh, my goodness. It just gets me going. But if they all went away, then I don't know what we're going to do about that. We got to get them back in. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Deborah Kobylt and Linda Huffman. And Linda,
Hello.
do you want to tell us, like,
Hey.
and we have kind of hanging on the line Dan Lothian. He'll be on in a few minutes. Oh, my gosh. All that applause.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Now I'm at the Hollywood Bowl.
We have Dan Lothian on the line from heartbeings.com. We'll talk to him in a few minutes. And we have here in studio Patty Golan. Is that how you say your name?
That's right.
Oh, I love that. And she's not Terry Hatcher. She looks just like Terry Hatcher. She
does look like Terry.
a younger Terry Hatcher, to be honest. And she's got this really cool business, friend of Linda's,
Right.
called Barter Bitch. I love that.
How to find things. She's a great shopper.
I love that. You know, when you pull from your friends, it makes the most fun show, right?
Right.
Because it's just fun. We've got one on the line. We've got her here in studio. We've got Donald Trump, who's about to say something with his mouth open. But anyway, so what's been going on with you since last week?
Well, just working and trying to figure out my backyard dilemma with the drought problem. Trees are dying. I'm not happy.
I know. I don't.
We
really,
talked about the drought last
We
week,
did
so-
talk about it last week, but
Yeah, it's a dilemma because I'm trying to save trees that are really expensive.
I am
It's
honestly
stressing me out.
No, the trees. I lost a birch tree already.
Yeah.
I watered it too much initially before the drought warnings, and then I didn't water it enough, and it went into such shock, and I lost her. She's in the front yard, and I feel bad.
Aw, did she have a name?
No, but I grew up with birch trees in the front of my yard as a kid, so I put this one in when we built
Mm-hmm.
our house, and now she's gone.
It's just depressing.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose these things.
So yeah, that's a dilemma.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not exciting, but that's my challenge of the week.
You know what? We should have a landscape guy.
We
come
really
on
need to know. And tree people, they all say something different.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has
No,
gone through
they
that.
do.
I don't know who to believe.
All right, we should have somebody in studio, even
Yeah.
like next week, who
Yeah.
can help us figure out what to do with landscape. Perfect.
All right, we'll get someone on.
All right, that's it. That's next week's
All right.
show, so tune in. In the meantime, we've got Dan Lothian. How are you, Dan?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Yeah, you're not calling from a subway this time in the middle of Washington, D.C.
I felt so bad about that last time because I wanted to make my fly, but I was sort of in motion, and I thought it was quiet enough, but I happened to be right next to a subway train, and that isn't very quiet.
Yeah, you've been on the show a few times, but Linda doesn't really know you. Linda Huffman is my friend and also colleague. We worked at CNN together, Dan.
Yeah.
She did entertainment news, so I guess you guys probably crossed paths because Dan was.
You know what, Dan? You look familiar.
Well, he was
I'm looking at your
he's the
picture.
White House correspondent from. He worked
Okay.
on CNN, right, Dan? For
Oh,
how
you were
many
on
years?
CNN?
4 years? 5 years? You did
Yeah,
that?
I was
What
5
year?
years at the White House,
Wow.
and before that I was another 5-6 years at the Boston bureau chief. But I was out in L.A. for a little bit, right? I
Well,
was working at
right, at
NBC.
NBC,
and when I
that's-
started.
right,
I
and
started at CNN L.A.
So you were at Cahuenga and Sunset, that beautiful spot. It's now nice.
Well, no.
It used to be
did
a dump
you
right there.
wait? Did you work at CNN in L.A. or no?
Yeah, I did.
said he was there.
So when I started, because I was still based out there, I started in the LA bureau, and then the whole thing was going on with the recall campaign right about the time that I was moving, and so then they sent me right back, and I ended up spending 6 weeks based out of that bureau covering the governor's recall campaign.
Oh gosh, and John was like right at the
yeah.
center of that. Remember?
What year
Oh,
was
yeah,
that?
yeah, that was
What year?
sort of
I'm just trying to
crazy
put it. What year was that? What year are you talking? I'm just curious.
That was 2003.
Okay. All right.
I remember
Probably,
that.
probably. I feel like I've seen you and met you somewhere, maybe in the hallway, somewhere.
Well,
one
he's
of those
been
things.
around, and now I love this website, Heart Beings.
It's
a
a wonderful website.
I know. So if we join, it says join now. You get to
Hello.
see and hear more about what's going on with Heart Beings, as opposed to just sort of looking on the the page there? I mean, is that what happens? Because I loved it. I want to subscribe to it.
I think
Dan?
We lost Dan.
We just lost him.
Oh,
All right,
no.
he'll call back. He's a professional.
He'll
I
call
love
back.
this website, Heart Beings.
Yeah, tell us what
look
it
it
is.
up. It's sort of how do you describe it? Feel good news or
Right.
good or news you need to know, but is not about a car chase and something
Right.
ridiculous. Inspirational, but smart. Not
Right.
inspirational and ridiculous where it's fluffy. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's not like self-help books.
No, not at all.
Which we like too.
No,
but-
I love self-help books, but it's got a lot of meat to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you guys should look it up. But we were going to talk to him about, he's back on.
Oh, great. There he is.
Yeah,
Dan?
I'm back. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
good.
you
Dan-
guys disconnected me. I was still connected.
Oh, no.
I don't know, Dan. We got to talk about this. I'm going to get your own phone just to call in for me. But but anyway, so we were just talking about Heart Beings and explaining to the people, to the audience, about your website and what you do on it. And you were recently in Cuba, right? You went to
That's
Cuba.
right. It was twofold. I went to Cuba. First of all, heartbeings.com focused on positive content, not necessarily sort of fun, happy stories, but redeeming value, redeeming quality to stories out there, and we find that there's an audience for that. But I went to Cuba for PBS. There's a show that I do some stuff for called Religion and Ethics News Weekly, and while I was there, I also covered some things, wrote an article for heartbeings.com. It was an amazing trip. My dad was born in Cuba. My middle name comes from a well-known Cuban as well, Jose Marti, my middle name being Marti.
I love that.
And so it was a wonderful experience to be there, especially during such a historic moment.
I loved the picture. Do we have it up there of you sitting on a park bench
I love
with
it.
a
John
statue
Lennon.
of John
Yeah.
Lennon? That is so cool. When did they put that statue up? Do you know?
Yeah, that was several
There
years
you go.
ago. And what's interesting is that,
And that's in
the
Cuba,
picture was
yeah.
taken just recently, but
Yeah.
the statue went in several years ago. What's interesting is that the Beatles were outlawed. They were banned because that was kind of the devil's music, and so Castro specifically barred that music from entering Cuba, and then years later came to embrace everything that John Lennon was about and dedicated that park bench John Lennon statue that you see there. So I used it in my article to kind of show how, look, there's one thing that can be happening and people can look at it and say it will never change. But as we saw with Castro and how he changed on the issue of the Beatles, then anything can happen in an island like Cuba. And we're seeing that now with the recent announcement that there will be full relations between the U.S. and Cuba now.
So are the
I'm there.
people there really excited, up in arms, excited about the economic boost they're going to get? Or hopefully.
Yeah, the people there, you still have detractors, and certainly the Cuban community in Miami is very up in arms. They think that these reforms should not be even moving forward unless you just get rid of all the Castros, you kick out the Castro regime. But the people there are really excited. I ran into one woman who was wearing these tight spandex American flag pants. I said, what's up with the pants? And she said, I'm an American. And I said, oh, were you born in the United States? She goes, well, no. I said, then how are you an American? And she said, because that's what I want to be.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, I love
asked
that.
why. Yeah, I asked her why, and she said that, there were just so many more opportunities here. In Cuba, yes, they get health care, education, they get a little bit of job, they get housing, but the average Cuban between $20 to $30 per month. Not a lot of money to live
Wow.
on. So it's a lot of opportunity here in the United States. They're excited about, not only what this will mean for more business coming into Cuba, but now Cuba also exporting like its medical technology and other things to other countries.
You know what was amazing to me when I read your story? You were in the airplane, and then just as you were reaching altitude, the pilot said, and we'll be landing in 15 minutes. Cuba is what, 90 miles
Yeah, that was
off
funny.
the coast?
Right.
Yeah,
And
and I wrote it that way to just let people. It gave you a very real
Right.
touch point to understand that.
Not that far.
If you had a pretty good arm, you could probably throw a baseball.
James could do that, right? James could probably throw a ball and hit them.
That's right, James could do it. Mine would just go plop right in the ocean.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's so close, but as I pointed out in the article as well, so far away. Because all of the freedoms that we enjoy here, some things that we take for granted, like internet And the whole time I was there, I was not on the internet. My cell phone, U.S. cell phones don't work there. U.S. credit cards don't work there. Now, a lot of that's going to be changed.
Really? Still? Because, we're planning to go to Cuba. We're planning a trip, I believe, the last week in March. You know that, right, Dan?
Yes, I do. And unless things change between now and then,
we have to go
we're going to have this embassy is going to be established starting, next week, I believe it is. So there may be some sort of quick changes that you'll be allowed to use, credit cards and so forth. But I had to go with a bag full of cash.
Wow.
Because there was no ATM. There was nowhere. My credit card wouldn't be accepted anywhere. And so there are still a lot of challenges, but changes in the air.
But what's amazing to me is 90 miles away, and growing up, all we used to hear about, among other places, was Cuba. Now, I realize it's because, we were always concerned and worried that the Russians would infiltrate there and then attack us from Cuba, but it was so close and such a tiny place. And at any time, we really could have taken it over, and we didn't. And we lived this way for such a long time.
Cuba has been, when you think of sort of the old Cold War days, there's the former Soviet Union, and then what else? You don't really have it. And this is a little different in that it wasn't the Soviet Union so far away that might send missiles our way, but there's this, this island so close by, and Castro was always, I guess despised by the United States. And then about 10 years ago, when his brother Raul first started leading the country, that's when you started seeing, some of the changes and reforms. As people point out, he's more practical in his approach. And so we see that it's been building and building. It's been a slow process. It hasn't happened overnight, and there's still a long way to go. But those folks on the ground are feeling it. There is a sense of enthusiasm, and people were watching on television when President Obama made his announcement late last year. They were excited about it. They're excited now. So it was wonderful to be able to witness that.
Well, I hope it doesn't turn into Cabo. I mean, how it's been overdeveloped.
Wow, could you imagine if that happened? But the Mexicans wanted Cabo to be Cabo. I think Cuba
is not cool. I mean, it's beautiful, but now there's high rises, and the culture is being disappeared by American culture, and it's just ruins it.
You're so right.
I hope it doesn't happen to Cuba.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I did ask people about that, and are there any concerns at all that the Cuba that with its rich history and heritage, and with the old cars and these great old buildings.
Wait, we have a picture.
Weathered, but still have that nice texture to it. Are you afraid? Are you going to lose that? And they do realize that is a reality, that could really happen, because there are a lot of developers ready.
They're circling.
You're right. They're circling on a boat, and they've got all their little tools. But I love that photo that you took of the cars.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me. So wait, what are they doing? Like, the cars break down and no new ones come in? They're just sort of fixing up the old cars from the 50s. This is gorgeous. It looks like a car. It looks like a car show.
That's what I thought it was
at
first.
So here's what you have. So pretty much, and that's not just how touristy things. Sometimes you go to some country and it's a tour. This really is how it is there. They have these old cars, but there are two classes of old cars. You have the old beaters that look like you
rusty.
Remember them.
Yeah.
Or I remember them.
Wait, the ones we used to drive.
With the black smoke puffing out the back, and the paint is peeling, and so you have those. And those are the ones that the locals will use for their taxis. So you can pick up a local and take a local around, and they don't make a lot of money. They use the Cuban peso, which is hardly worth anything. And then the nice ones that you saw in that picture, those typically are used to carry the tourists around. And those you have to pay with what is called the Cook CUC. It's a currency that is equal to the value of the dollar. And so it is, you see those cars everywhere, and you don't really see any modern day cars. Here and there, you might see someone who might work with an embassy or some foreign company that's there, and they'll have a new car. But pretty much all the cars you see out on the street are either the beaters or the old vintage cars that have been restored, and they use everything to make sure those cars stay on the road. There are people there fabricating stuff that hasn't been made in years.
It's just so fascinating. So how are they dealing with the influx of people who want to come in and visit? Is it kind of like I remember going to the Galapagos Islands. They will only allow a certain number of people in there every year. Is Cuba going to do that, or they're just going to open up? Like, how are they going to deal with it? And what about the hotels?
Well, yeah, right. They're going to open up, but I really don't know how they're going to be able to take everybody in, because when I was there, I had been planning to go in April, and then because I couldn't get my visa together, I had to push my trip back. And when I was going in April, there were plenty of places for me to stay, but I happened to be going there doing the Havana Biennale, which is like this big arts festival.
Right.
And come from all over the world. And there was nothing available. And someone had told me about these nuns that have a little B&B, and I had talked to them before.
Wait,
and
you
they said,
stayed-
anytime you want to come, you can come here.
You stayed with the nuns? That's so cute.
The nun, but they had nothing available. They were sold out.
The nuns were sold
So,
out. Wow.
fortunately, the photographer I was working with, family, had a little flat. It was nice. It was actually a pretty nice place that I stayed. But, they don't have a lot of hotel rooms. And certainly, if you're, and I should warn you as you're going there, their star system, so something that says is a 4-star is probably more like a 2-star or 2.5 star, because some of the, their 1-star or 2-star, we probably wouldn't even be,
It'd be the flea bag.
I may or may not have electricity.
Okay, and you were talking about phones. So if you can't use your phone, do you have to buy an international phone here and then use it, or get there and use their phones? How does that work?
Yeah, you can't even take in an international phone there. I don't know how people do it in general. What I ended up doing was I got a local phone once I went there.
Right.
And I rented it from someone, so it had one of those, you could load time on it, so time was loaded, and they gave it to me, and I used it while I was there. But yeah, because I have an international plan on my phone, but it wouldn't work in Cuba.
Wow. So were people excited to see you walking around? I don't know. Are they just still excited to see Americans, or are they getting used to it?
Yeah, that was really a cool thing, because as I've been traveling around the world, when I was covering the White House, you started to get the sense that people didn't really like Americans.
Right.
When they were throwing some barb at you. There, it was quite different. It was like the old days of traveling around the world. People really appreciated you, and they're asking you. One guy was chasing me. Hey, my brother lives in Pittsburgh, and he just wanted to talk, and they liked to practice the little English that they know.
Oh,
and
that's
so
refreshing.
I felt very welcome. And whenever I told them that
come
my
to us.
dad was born there, then that almost cemented whatever conversation or communication I was
Right.
trying to.
Because you're from there. I mean, that's where, your family's from. That's really amazing, Dan. What else can you tell us, right? What else there's so much to know. I mean, I just would walk around
be
the streets. Is
interesting
it safe, too, to just walk around the streets?
Completely safe.
Yeah.
I was walking around at all times of the night. I'd usually, we'd work all day. We really had a long and difficult shooting schedule, but then hot, and you go back, you take a shower, take a little nap, and then go out for late dinner, and I'm strolling around at, 10, 11 o'clock. No real crime to speak of, especially in Old Havana, where I was staying. So I felt very comfortable. And then another thing that I liked about there, aside from the security thing, is that the prices of things, it's so cheap.
So what did you bring? What did you bring back for me from there that was so cheap? I need to know.
Well, here's the thing. So from the time that I applied to go and the time that I went, they changed the rules as to what you could bring back. Before, you couldn't bring anything that wasn't made by an arts and crafts person. But then they changed it to where, and I didn't realize this till I got back, that you could actually bring back some cigars, and there was a limit as to how much you could bring back. So
we're gonna
I
have
didn't come
cigars.
back bearing a lot of gifts. But everything was relatively cheap. The dinners, my most
food was
expensive
probably
dinner
good.
at
It was
the
amazing.
top restaurant there was
How about the
about
mojitos? Right?
$60.
Isn't it born there? Cuban mojito. Mojito. Did you have a couple of those?
No,
Drinks?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Linda will.
That's
Linda
my
will go
subject.
there, and she'll be having
I'll
all
let
the
you know how
mojitos.
those are.
Oh, so what was your favorite thing to eat there?
Well, I always go out to a lot of Cuban. I love Cuban food. Any
Oh,
restaurant
yeah.
in
Remember
town,
when
I
you
have to-
lived here? We used to go to that place, right, on Ventura Boulevard?
Probably not
Oh,
Versailles.
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Versailles.
So,
That's
yeah, I
it.
remember that restaurant we used to go to, and there's one
that was
locally
so
here too
fun.
in the Boston area. But
I love Cuban
I
food.
like white rice and black beans and chicken. We did have some fish sometimes, and the food was just delicious, and the people there were just they just keep bringing the food out, and it's not like they're measuring the portions. They give you more than you can handle.
Did you pay in dollars? Is that what you were doing, or did you get?
Yeah, so I was paying so you can't use American money unless you're giving somebody a tip. Because anytime you exchange an American dollar, you have to pay a 10% fine. So
It's like a 10% tax, right?
It's not it's a fine that the U.S. government puts on the exchange of American dollars in Cuba, because it's still technically illegal to be there. And so if you're exchanging the money, they just want to take the fine right off of it, right off the top. So you exchange $100, you get $90 back. The 10 goes back to the United States for a fine. So what you do is you go ahead and exchange it, but you pay in the CUC, the CUC, and that is basically the same value as a dollar, and that's what you use for pretty much everything. I didn't even get the Cuban peso. The CUC or the CUC is what the tourists use to buy stuff, in restaurants and so forth. But everything was cash. 100% of what I did was cash.
So, by the way, Kurt, our board operator, just put up a photo of Versailles. It's bringing back memories
Of the restaurant
Versailles. That was pretty cool. Thank you. But that was funny. So when does it become legal? When can we all go there and not, feel like we've got the government breathing down our backs?
Yeah, I don't know when the exact day, because still, and I know your trip as well, it still has to fall under that kind of arts education kind of group trip. Or you have to be going, you're with a religious group, some sort of exchange program. Right now it's still that. I don't know when they'll just sort of open it up for anyone to hop on a plane to go down there. But
I can't believe they're allowing John and all of his listeners to go down there. Do they know what they're getting into? I mean, honest to God, it's one thing to let you in there, but maybe I shouldn't say anything. John will be a good boy, right?
And you guys, you're going on that charter out of Miami, right?
I don't know anything. I'm just showing up. I guess so.
Yeah, that's how it is. So you'll take a flight down there. You take it, and believe me, you want to get there very early, because actually for us, they told us we had to be there 4 hours before departure.
4 hours? It's like a 20-minute flight.
I know, but you have to go through, and you have to pay for. There's like a fee that you get hit with for any bag that you're taking, and they charge you based on, like, even a carry-on bag. There's a fee that they charge based on how much your carry-on bag weighs.
This is so cool. I love this.
Keep that in mind as you're getting ready to go down there at the airport.
We'll probably see you somehow before we end up going there, whether in Boston or whatever, because Dan and his family, they live in Boston, and Justin goes to school there, and we'll end up seeing you, so you could tell us what to do. But there's one more thing, right?
I'd love to go down with you guys. That would be pretty fun.
Dan, that would be great, even if you just hopped on alone, or you and Cindy. But, we also wanted to talk to you because you were the White House correspondent, right? About, Linda wanted to, especially about Trump.
Yeah, I was reading, you had a guest on your podcast about his image, and I thought it was interesting to talk about for a couple minutes.
Before we let you go, since you have all this experience about what it takes to sort of make it in the White House and run the White House, what about this guy and the stuff that he said? How's it going to hurt him and help him? I know he's number one in the polls now. He's not going to stay there, but wait, do we have a little tape of what we're going to roll something? Well, we all know what he said, but we'll roll it anyway. Go ahead. Here we go.
Has become a dumping ground for everybody else's problems. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting.
Does he
and
speak
it only
to border
makes
guards?
common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
What does he mean they're sending us?
Yeah, I don't know. It almost sounded like there's
it's like they're just opening the
conspiracy. Like, let's take all our bad people and ship them over there.
Like,
as opposed to
ridiculous.
people just on their own deciding to come into the United States.
Obviously what he was saying was, let's try to make the system a little more legal. But the way he went about it was so ridiculous and
But don't you think, knowing Trump the way we know him, he did it on purpose that way? I mean,
He did do it on
it was a
purpose.
total.
That's a good point.
This isn't a mistake.
Trump has made a name for himself saying crazy things, right?
Right.
And I think this is a little different in that before he was sort of, he was Trump, this guy who was flirting with the presidency for the sake of publicity.
Right.
Now he's a candidate. He wants to become president. And so, when you look at what he said, there is truth, there is substance to what he said. But the way he said it, sort of painting everyone with this broad brush, I think is certainly what caused a lot of pain and anguish for many wonderful immigrants from Mexico and other Latin American countries here in the United States. And you have seen others in the Republican Party take a step back. What I think is a little interesting about all of this is that he has jumped in the polls. I mean, he clearly has resonated with a certain core group in this country among Republicans, conservatives, and I think what you're hearing from them is that they appreciate someone who is speaking from the heart. Now, whether it's really from his heart or it's from him knowing how to get attention, we can debate that. But
I think he probably believes every word of it. Knowing Trump, because I used to have to cover him and travel around.
You know about the Twitter thing that was out yesterday?
Yeah.
And the German soldiers, the intern used by mistake. Did you see that? I don't know, Dan.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, well, he tweeted a picture of him with the flag behind him, and then inserted and superimposed in the background were soldiers. He's very big in military, he wants to double in size. And apparently the intern who made this used German Nazi soldiers.
No, did he do it on purpose?
No, he says it was a mistake. The intern did it, so it was a kind of a little social media that went all crazy yesterday.
Oh, that kid, whoever that was, did it on purpose. There's no way.
But
Kurt, you're shaking your head. What?
It's just ridiculous.
Well, first I was thinking, it's enough. Like, let's get on with the story. But then I realized they took the photo and used the photo from the Nazi picture, and it matched exactly. Because I was thinking, all right, that's a stretch. Come on, let's get on with it. But it was exactly the photo. So obviously the intern didn't know.
I don't know
not
how
appropriate.
You can't know, because if he's Googling soldiers, one's going to come up Nazi soldiers.
But why? No, you can't be that dumb. You just can't be that dumb.
That's why I think he did it on purpose.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. He took it off his Twitter. So he took it down. So there you go. But I wonder, what is the Republican Party doing? I mean, are they like sweating bullets here, do you think, Dan? Or do they think he's going to be gone and it's nothing to worry about?
It's hard to say. I think clearly, they've come out and been outspoken about it, saying that, this is not the kind of rhetoric that the Republican Party should be putting out there, that he has been even encouraged to dial it back. And so I have to think that they don't like it. But, that they're looking at the numbers, and at least for the time being, among conservative Republicans, at least, he's finding this base of support. The thing that was a little disturbing, and we saw this on Heart Beings, is some of the comments that were made to our article, because we were talking about how can he repair his bad reputation, because it is, based on what he said, that I don't think that in general the public would think that that's good. No. But people were saying all kinds of stuff. Just the vitriol, and that to me is what I don't like about politics, that people can't have a debate without being civil. They should be civil. You can disagree with someone, but what about why do we have to have this name calling? And that I think is what's disturbing for me.
Yeah. Okay. Could he make it? All right. Let's just pretend a little bit. Who would be a great running mate for Donald Trump? Imagine
Oprah Winfrey.
Who?
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, would she do it?
Like the joke out there that he wants Oprah to be his running mate.
Okay, good luck with that one.
What did she say to that? Could you imagine?
I don't know. I don't think she has responded, but
I don't think she will give it any credit.
I don't think she'd give it any credit.
Yeah.
But talk about shoe throwing in the White House.
But it did say, by the way, there was another poll, and Dan, you probably saw this, that if he was running against Hillary Clinton, it wasn't good. Like, it was 5.7 behind.
Like Trump would be behind?
Yeah,
or?
He would be behind. So Bush was ahead of him in the poll.
Yeah, and I think that just shows when you're talking about his popularity among his his strong supporters. Then the numbers
he's
are
strong,
jump.
right?
Among conservative Republicans, you'll find that. But when you look at the general population, clearly I think more people than not are turned off by the kinds of things he's saying. They might appreciate the fact that, this is a country where you can say, speak your mind, and we like the fact that you're speaking, if indeed you're speaking from your heart, we appreciate that as well.
He'll pick the one Latino to be his vice presidential candidate.
Oh, he'll have to.
That's what's going to be.
Who absolutely.
The
He'll
one
have to do
Latino
that.
who would do it.
There's no.
That's right. That's probably what he'll do.
He'll do
But,
that.
look, anything can happen, and people say, "Oh, he's never going to win." I never say that because you saw what happened with President Obama. He was down by, all those points going into the primary against, candidate Clinton at the time, and then boom, he springs forward and he gets all the money, he becomes president. So.
You never know.
Imagine a
Anything is
Donald Trump White House. That would be. I bet you'll go back to work. You'd
Yeah,
love
you-
to. You'd love to be the White House correspondent.
To go back.
And then he'd be flying on Trump Air. Forget about Air Force One.
Trump Air. He'll change the name.
No, he will.
He'd probably put a different sign on the United States.
He'll want to call it Trump instead of United States of America.
There's no
Trump
doubt
of
about it.
America. How about that?
Actually, it would
Yeah, I
be
could see that.
interesting if he
I
would
could
just,
see that.
if he would just shut his mouth a little bit and just be a little smarter. He could
Yeah,
almost
but that's
take
how
this.
he made his money.
Yeah, no, you're
He's a
right.
showman.
He's
Everything
got
about
more
Trump.
balls than anyone.
No, he does. He does. And for the record, we have a couple of Trump ties before Macy's decided to cut him out. Somebody
Yeah,
gave
but
him.
people are complaining. The consumers are complaining that they got rid of his products in Macy's.
I never liked his products,
Oh,
but somebody
yeah, I don't
gave
think
them to
so.
John for Christmas or
I
something.
don't even know what they
I
are.
don't even know what
I
they
hung
are.
on to them. I don't know. What does he sell? Cologne?
Patty's the
ties?
shopper. What is it?
Yeah. In fact, that's a great segue into Patty and Patty Golan, and who's been patiently waiting. And she's like with barter
I'm sure she
bitch.
has much to say about the
Yeah. Oh,
Trump
Dan.
thing.
Yes.
too.
we should probably let you go. But
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks
Dan,
so
it has
much. I had
been
a great
so
time.
great. I mean, you are our resident political everything.
Woo-hoo!
Love you, Dan. Talk soon.
Love you too. Take care.
Bye, Dan.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
All
that
right.
was so fun. Is he not
I
the
know.
best?
I love him.
He's
I
brilliant.
could talk to him all
He's
day.
smart. I love that. I forgot to tell him that little Boy Scout picture of him. Look with the
So
tie.
cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
Oh, doesn't
that's
it
a
look
great
cute
picture.
there? You don't know, we've known each other forever, like since our college days, and we
Patty,
were all starting.
When you're in news, and this is funny, Deborah and I have that background,
Yeah.
and it's like old home. You connect
you
with people,
really develop
and you
a bond.
relate your stories to the news story of that time.
Right.
Like,
Well-
oh, that was when Reagan did this, or
Right,
that's what
right.
that's how we talk.
Well, because
so
it's
weird.
It's such an interesting profession, right?
It
you
really
get
is.
to sort of be a part of something that most people will never really be a part
And you
of,
see a
especially
different
somebody
side
like
to
Dan.
it. You know, we're in the
Right.
background. We hear things that we can't report. So it's quite interesting.
And it makes you really close group of people.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
will always
We're all a little
forever
insane,
have that.
too.
There's no doubt.
No, I think it's great because every time I see the news now, it's like, mom killed baby, husband shoots wife in the Kardashians.
You know
That's
what?
all it is.
I have to say something
The whole
right now.
thing.
There's a story, and I don't want to change because I want to get into the shopping that's just much lighter and fun. But there's some. I can't even watch the news without wanting to
it's
slip
sick.
my wrists. I mean, Planned Parenthood story. We should talk about this next week.
There's a lot to talk about
I
next
mean,
week.
that
What's a
one,
Planned
I'm going to say it in one sentence because it's so disgusting to me
What is-
that it came out that there's, I can't even talk about it, selling fetus tissue and parts.
For research.
For research and Planned Parenthood is
Was-
behind this. So I think we need to save that
Was
for
there,
next week.
because I
I mean,
didn't,
I can't even look at the video. It's so disturbing.
did
to
they
me.
do that without knowledge at all? Like there was no knowledge whatsoever from
No,
the
they-
patients.
No knowledge from the patients. I mean, could you imagine?
Because you wonder. Did
I mean,
a
it's a
woman
medical
have to-
ethics question.
There's
you know.
no doubt about it. I mean, who does that material, if you will, belong to once it is extracted from a woman's
Well,
body?
I'm wanting to see if Planned Parenthood is taking a stand saying this is absolutely false. It doesn't happen, and I'm
You know
not
what?
seeing it.
We need to have somebody
Yeah,
on.
we'll
next
talk
week
about that next week.
So that's
but
great.
I heard that last night, and I'm like, why even leave the house? I mean, it's just I can't even function. So depressing.
That is.
I am,
gross.
yeah, but I am so glad you're here today
Thank
because,
you.
well, Linda has her own website, Tonic Home, where
Right.
she is such an amazing decorator,
Thanks,
among
honey.
other things.
But Patty does it right. She can scour things and find the coolest, not just home decor. Look at how cute she is. Her shirt.
Well,
and
a
the
young Terry
bracelet.
Hatcher. Yeah, did I do it right? If you see me in 6 weeks, I'll be in the same stuff.
Talk about that.
Black,
Her
black
cuff,
and black.
Her cuff bracelet. Talk about those.
Well, my friend,
These
you know
are
what's so
cool.
funny? My friend Allison Markinson, she lived in LA. Now she lives in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
And they moved to Santa Fe.
You met her.
You did meet her, and you met her. She's from
Her house we
Australia.
went to when I fell down the
I was with
slope.
her.
Oh,
You
yeah,
fell
yeah,
down the
yeah.
stairs.
Oh,
Was
that
it you?
was
I thought it was
hilarious.
you.
It was me.
She fell down the stairs,
Oh, my
and
God.
yeah.
What a night. But anyway, Allison moved there, and she was so depressed because she was taken out of the city and now moving to Santa Fe. So she learned to bead with the Indians. Taught her.
cool.
Oh, that's cool. So
And
now
she's
she's got a
in her
jewelry
house,
line?
and she
I think
made
they're beautiful.
Actually thousands of these bracelets. She must have been
See?
really depressed.
Do we have any pictures of them? Or
I have
let me
more.
see.
Yes, I have more with me. So
I
they're
love
real
'em.
skins, and then she puts the beads on and then suede on the inside.
Oh, these are beautiful.
They're great.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
And she has.
I mean, they're
This is it's called Caviar Mom.
yeah.
She she
cool.
makes everything. Like, I mean, these are from an older line, but
They're cool.
She was selling these for a lot. And
I love that
and
one.
Now they're not.
I love
sold
gold.
for a
Well, you
lot.
know,
They're not.
from
They're fun.
he said bring it up so we can see it in the camera. There you go. Yeah,
is the
see,
Wonder Woman
so
one.
what you're saying is, even if you just have on a simple outfit, like you
Oh,
have
yeah.
on a really, really simple
Right.
green top, it's nice, and black or gray pants, you throw something like this on.
that's all
I'm
you
not
need.
great with accessorizing.
I'm not either, but you know what? Once you put these on, you feel tough and you feel cool.
feel
Very
like
hip
really,
and
this
cool.
is cool.
You
Okay,
feel
look,
very
it's
cool.
black, so I
Yeah.
like this.
now,
one.
what
Yeah,
do
put
those
that on.
cost? What's the price range?
You know what?
Range? I know
Since
they're real
I have
skin.
the bargains. They are real skins, but they're anywhere from $40 up to
Ooh.
$350.
So okay, the $40 is a good price.
Yeah,
So all you really need to do, right, for like, let's say you're on a
budget.
sorry,
right?
blah, 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 budget.
Right.
It's hard to say the word. I know.
budget.
I
Aren't we
don't
all
like that
on a
word.
budget?
Oh, I am on a
Okay,
budget.
so we're on a budget. What do we do? What's the first thing you just have to have? Like, let's say you have $40 for the month to go and get something really nice to stick with the rest of your
Oh,
wardrobe.
geez.
Would it be something
I
like
like
this?
that. I like the
I see. I
accessory.
do earrings.
Earrings too. I love earrings. Always make you feel good.
Yeah, and they can brighten up your face.
They can brighten up your face.
Right, and what else?
Or a
Like,
good-
where do you like to shop? That's
Oh,
really
gosh.
reasonable.
Well, see, this is the thing. I grew up in retail, so my father had 20 stores, and
Ooh.
I was dressed. I had the best clothes, I have to say.
Yeah.
Then he, anyway, long story short, moved to California, and I just started going to. He used to. Oh, you know what's so funny is he could have whatever he wanted to wear. He shopped at Marshalls.
I was
going to
say, I grew up Marshalls.
I love it. Yes, and I'm addicted. I go once a week to Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Goodwill. I'm addicted, and I find the best deals. And for me, people usually like, what's that one dress that you
Yeah.
have that you're like, oh, that you spent thousands on, and you have that. Somebody's got that bag or that
I
dress.
don't have any bag. Yes, I'll spend money on a bag, but
Right.
on a dress, I don't know.
I don't know. My thing is my favorite thing to my
Spend.
score is
Yeah.
I found something amazing for like $10. Like that's my treasure. Like I
That's
don't
cool.
care about the $10,000 dress. That's just
When you
not
find
me.
something cool for $10, that's
That's to me.
the
That's a little high for me. I love it. I mean high, like not
Yeah,
high payment. I just I get excited about it.
So do you shop for people, or do you
I
go
love
out with
shopping
people?
for
So what do you
people.
do?
I
Like,
love
let's
it.
like, would you go out and be like a personal
I
stylist?
would love
or-
to do that. The problem is that I honestly can only shop at those stores. Like I'm saying, the Marshalls and the Ross. Like I love that. I love to hunt.
You like the
I
the
love to hunt.
adventure of it.
and I love to show people. Like, give me $100, and I'll head to toe. I can outfit you for under $100, easy. Maybe 2 outfits. So I love doing that, and then just finding good steals, and these I love. And these are really the only kind of bracelets I wear because she has them in every color, and so you can.
And
throw them on
they
with
are
anything.
statement pieces.
They
So
are.
even spending a little more on that, if you wear it a lot, I can
Yeah.
see spending $100-something on that. I love them. I love those.
What
But
else is an
besides what-
important staple? Would you say, like
Always the bag and the shoes.
the bag and
Yeah.
the
Bag and the
shoes?
shoes.
That's what I say.
And the lipstick.
Oh,
Ooh,
really?
mine came off, but I do like lipstick.
But that's so personal.
You know what though? It just you don't have to have anything on and just put some good jewelry on and a lipstick and then you're good to go.
Really? So bags
that.
and shoes. Do you
And
say
lipstick.
go bag, shoes, and lipstick? Do you
Yeah.
say go expensive on the bags and shoes? I mean, how do you?
You don't have to. You
No?
don't have- No. I mean, I thank God for online. You can find some great stuff and you find what you like and then you go online and you can get it for next to nothing.
Right.
So
It's
you know,
hard for
there's
me to
some-
get stuff on sale with shoes. I'm a
Right.
5.5. They're gone.
Are you?
So-
Then you know what? You haven't gone to Marshalls because they have the best 5.5.
Really? I have
That's
to have
where
you
they
shop
have
for
You're
it
a
me.
all.
5.5.
Yeah.
That's where you
That's
gotta
so
go.
little.
That is
You should go to the
little.
kids department.
I know.
No, the shoes don't fit right. I tried that once.
Oh, that's so cute, though. What
But
about
I should have Patty
Nordstrom's?
shop for me.
Doesn't Nordstrom's have like a nice 5.5? No.
You know what? I don't like shopping anymore. Something happened. to
I
me.
don't either.
I've gotten old. I don't care, and it's terrible
It's
because I always
overwhelming. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming of shopping. I have like my little things that I like. Like I
Right.
like. I mean, this is not really reasonable, but Theory or Vince, and I just
Right,
go
right.
to like
Theory or-
Bloomingdale's
yeah,
or
yeah,
something,
right.
and
You know
just
exactly
go right
where to
there.
go.
Otherwise, I get too confused.
I know. But TJ Maxx has Theory and Vince.
They do.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to look though.
The T-shirt
There'll be
I
a
have
lot
with
of-
me right now is Vince from
So
there.
cute.
$22.
Really?
Vince.
Really?
Yeah,
Come
I'll shop
on.
for you.
Yeah,
I'll
you should
go
shop
with
for
you.
both of us.
No, we should.
love
The three
it.
of us should go.
All right,
I
we'll
love
make it a
it.
little. We'll turn it into a little video.
So Linda and I
okay.
went the other day
Yeah.
and
She
we went
told
for
me.
home shopping.
We
at
should
Home
show some of
Goods.
those things.
And it
Okay,
was
so
great.
you do everything.
Yeah,
So what about
Home's my favorite.
Because it's nice to freshen up your house. You know,
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing. No, I will go to Marshall's and those places and look for a really nice bedspread. I loved.
Love
the
it.
finds you can get there, right?
Patty, how long were we there? 10 minutes? 15?
Where?
We're to show. We went to Home Goods in
Home
Glendale.
Goods is great.
And I'd never been in there because I'm into the high end junk. And but I went in there and they have like Trina Turk. What are we
There
can
was
name
anything.
drop?
Lacoste, Ralph
Yeah.
Lauren, Donna Karen, Calvin
we
Klein.
should
Home
show-
Goods is
Cynthia
fantastic.
Rowley, yeah,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, you could do a bedroom, kids' room for under $100.
Unbelievable.
Literally. If you want to do something else a little more loud, I mean,
Yeah, we found-
500, you can get the rug, the whole nine, the desk, the chair, the everything.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Aren't they sort of the high end TJ Maxx? They're owned by the same company.
They are owned by the
right?
same company.
But this rug here we're showing, is that
Yeah.
up?
Oh, I
This-
love that
did
rug.
not know what that
This
was.
rug
is an
I thought it was
amazing rug.
like a picture from the earth.
Well,
I
this was
couldn't
a
figure
huge
that
rug,
out.
Patty, right?
Huge. That was
it was
huge.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Like I can't. It was like
But it was
10 by
it was
12.
the size of this room.
Yeah, it was huge.
Bigger than this
Yeah,
room.
bigger than this room.
Oh, that
$400.
is.
Yeah, $4.99.
And this is Patty and her shopping.
That's Jonathan Adler bedspread. Actually, a
Gorgeous.
bedding
Really
set.
nice.
Jonathan Adler. So in the store, that would be over $200.
Right.
Here
It
was
was-
$39.99.
Yeah, I mean, and it came with everything.
Wait, what's that? 'Cause
This
I-
is-
How
I-
cool is that?
I can't
desk.
see it.
It's a desk.
Oh, wait, hang on. I need my glasses.
How cool is that?
Can we make it a little bigger, Kurt? Kurt, are you
For
so
us
into
blind
this?
people?
Are you like all
Kurt,
excited?
if
You're
you
gonna go
need
home to-
any decor, I will do it because I will do it for cheap. I would love men are my target audience,
Well, he
like
has
young
he
men.
He has a wife.
Oh, he's got a wife.
so
Forget it. What
they
about
can
you?
go to-
I'm single, looking
You
for
are.
an apartment.
Oh
so-
my God!
Once
well,
he gets his apartment,
yes, give me $200 and I will make it look fabulous.
Kurt,
That's a
what
fun
do you
project.
think?
And look
You
at
have to
this
get back
chair,
in there,
Deborah.
'Cause
This chair.
He's always laughing. I could tell he thinks what?
This
Oh,
chair.
oh,
How
that
cool is that?
Great. What do you think?
It's a very colorful chair.
It's cool. It's,
can
it's
tell.
really retro.
I love putting him on the spot. If anybody could see, he's like bright red right now. So.
My other job, I work at IKEA, so I kind of.
You do?
oh, it's competition for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I love IKEA.
I love
Okay.
IKEA.
They can go to IKEA
Ooh,
too.
will you take us behind the scenes at IKEA one day? What do you do there?
I work in the work IKEA area, the desks.
So
What do you mean?
Oh, that's cool.
When
You're
the,
on the
Chairs.
floor?
Yeah.
what do
Oh,
they
so
do
you
with
have
the
to go
broken?
bother him.
What do they do with the broken goods? Because we know they get a bunch of. Do they give them away, or do
they
they?
go
No, they
into the
resell it.
as-is, Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
So
What do they
that's
do
where
with
That's
the
where I
broken
shop.
goods?
I
That's
shop
where
at the
Pam-
as is. Are you
Wait,
kidding?
what does that
I go
mean?
right to the as is.
That means like it broke there, or somebody broke. What does
Yeah,
that
when
mean?
it
Returns,
ships.
broken
Also,
ones.
in shipment, things break all the time.
Yeah.
So,
But
you
it's
always-
not usually like they won't sell you something that's literally broken. But
Yeah.
like if there's the scratch on the
That
leg,
you could fix easily.
Right, you can get it at the
Yeah.
as is.
Yeah, they're all about sustainability, so they don't. They try not to throw away anything.
I
smart.
like them. Okay, the very first couch that John and I ever got, ever. The first one was actually used from a friend's house, but the second one was from IKEA, and he stuffed it into the back of his Hyundai or whatever. We had a. He had
So
a
you're like,
really
I don't know
old-
what that is.
Huh? He had a really old Hyundai, and we just stuffed it in, and we were so excited. It was like $99. It was this great couch. It lasted forever. So their stuff was good. So that's another
Yeah.
place. Go to IKEA and keep Kurt
love
employed.
IKEA.
That's cute. Yeah, there's just so much you can find.
Oh,
What
those
else
are
do we have?
cute.
Those were so neat. Those were this crocheted. Were those Lacoste? I don't remember.
I
but
can't see them because the picture's too small for me. I've got to go to the eye
They
doctor.
have a good texture. It's almost
Yeah,
like
it
a
was great.
sweater. You know, there's a lot of texture in those.
Oh, so these are pillows. Okay, now I
Pillows.
can see them. Oh, they're beautiful.
that's an ottoman. I love that.
oh, I love that. That was about $59.99.
Yeah, and it
what
was
the
Indoor outdoor ottoman.
That is absolutely
You know those
beautiful.
like cube ones?
Yeah.
It was great.
great for extra seating.
Oh,
in a
they're
room.
beautiful. So what you're saying is like, you know, just freshen up your space and feel good about it. You could do
You
it for
don't-
under $100.
And you don't have to be intimidated to do it. And Patty, that's the thing. I think people are intimidated to freshen things up.
Well, my
They go, "I don't wanna change."
my sister's like you. She could walk right into a place
Right.
like this and just hunt it down and know what would look good, and she'll come out looking like $1 million because she just knows how to do it. I need a little bit of help, you know, navigating.
I'm
it.
not saying a word.
What?
Deborah this is how Deborah shops. I like this. Wait, I like that. I like this. I like this. She can't make it mine.
It's
Right.
so
She
my
needs you.
personality, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
like I'm
is.
just
It's
all over
funny.
the place, and then I'm in the dressing room not knowing what to do.
Right, right.
So, yeah, that's why a place like this can confuse me a little bit. I especially like. Oh, what's that?
Isn't that cute? The whale. It's a whale picture.
Oh, that's adorable.
Linda loved the whale picture.
I do. I
actually
love
li-
it.
Okay, that's what an indoor
What is
outdoor
that?
candle.
That's a little accessory. It's a candle. You could put it in or out. It was a sea urchin.
What is that other one? It
With
looks
rope.
like it fell from the
And this is a
sky.
stone. I just took some accessory pictures because they're so inexpensive.
Yeah,
there.
Home
And
Goods has phenomenal
Look at that ottoman.
stuff. Wait, let me see the ottoman. Oh, that's
cute.
beautiful.
$59.99.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. You know, I have a couple of ottomans in my den, and I'm going to have them recovered. It'll cost me more to have it
Oh,
recovered
definitely.
go
Just
to
go
there.
get
than
some.
to just go get them there.
I can't see. Oh, that's another bedding set. But you know, it's just a lot of fun. And then Patty, you also look at you go to estate sales and things like that.
I love Crossroads. Do you know Crossroads? It's like a vintage
No?
store.
Where is it?
There's a few of them, but you basically can bring your clothes in. They have to kind of be designer, and they'll give you money, or you can trade for their clothes. And they've got all amazing stuff, like Christian Louboutin.
Where
Did I
are they
pronounce it correctly?
I have no
Jeez.
idea because I've never bought them. But do you? Where are they located? 'Cause
One is on Ventura Boulevard, next to, in Laurel Grove, so Laurel Canyon, right over there. It's
Okay.
great. I always find great stuff there. Goodwill, I found an amazing Burberry trench coat, brand new with the tag
Wow.
still on for
You can
600.
find
You know what?
a
It's
lot.
600. It was 675, and they had it for $18.99.
Yeah, because they
That's
need,
a score.
because they
That's
need
crazy.
to move it. That's a score.
know.
But you need the time too to go through stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know, it's kind of a fun girls thing to do.
It is.
You know, girls are always looking for something
Right.
to do. So go.
I'd rather
bargain
do that
shop.
than go to the mall where I
Oh,
don't want to
yeah.
spend $600.
No.
Sorry, can't do it.
Yeah, no,
I
that
gotta
would
fix
be
my
fun.
trees.
Exactly.
Our next outing, we should do something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I just donated like 8 or 9 bags of clothes, but I did it to the Salvation Army, and a lot of them had tags on them. They were from my kids,
Right.
who maybe didn't wear them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're different sizes. So I thought, oh, I'll save this one for James, but James is a huskier kid. So you're right. You can find some great stuff in
Yeah.
those places.
You just got to take the time and go and look.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, I'll do it for you.
Great.
So
How do people find you?
Yeah, how do we
you have
find
a-
you?
Or
Well,
not-
we know how to find
Well,
you.
they'll contact us.
Yes.
And we'll put you on the website once we get that up.
Yeah.
We're still working on
So
that.
you're the barter bitch. I
And
love the
Barter
name.
Bitch, the Barter Bitch is hopefully going to
Linda
be
came up with
doing
that.
a series. I don't think so. I think it's your idea. I just loved it.
I thought it was bargain. You came up with barter, but whatever. It's
It
all
could be
good.
bargain or barter.
or
Yeah,
just
the
bitch.
alliteration just works.
Biatch. She's going to be on the show a lot, helping us.
Yeah, because
Get
we
our act
need it.
together.
So, okay, well, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
This
Thank
is
you.
So much fun, and these
Cheers.
bracelets are gorgeous. Woohoo! Gorgeous. This is really fun. See, I love putting the friends on. We have to like go back into our friend pool and see who we can.
We have cool friends.
Yeah, and I have a landscape artist friend who maybe we could talk to next week. She does a lot of high end stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm curious what she's doing.
That'd be
you
good.
know, I'm actually so sick of it. I may just give in and just go get turf, and I don't like turf. I
Some
think it's-
turf is cool.
Ugh,
I mean,
but
some of it
it's
looks real.
fake. It's
Well,
just like
I
wearing
know.
polyester pants back in the 70s, you know?
God, no.
I can't get into it. Anyway, thanks for joining
You're
us.
welcome. Thank
That was
you.
so much fun. And you
Yay.
guys, thanks for being in the studio. We'll see you next week.
Cheers. Cheers.
Welcome to the new sound.